Hi there, and welcome to Worship Leadership. I'm Ken Reed, and I'll be your teacher through this course. We'll be joining a live class for a lot of the sessions, and then we'll be communicating with each other by some means of dialogue over the net. Worship Leadership. We'll talk about, first of all, what worship is, and then about leadership. First, worship. Where is the target? Where's the center of the target, and how do I know if I've hit it? And then leadership. How do I, in a practical way, help other people to get to that place? When we talk about worship, we're going to begin by spending probably several sessions on the Jewish roots of music. We'll talk about worship in the tabernacle and the synagogue and that Jewish background. Then we'll talk about worship in the New Testament church. What did they seem to do in the New Testament? What evidence is there? It might not be a lot, but we have some evidence of what they did. And then we'll talk about the early church after the days of the New Testament and how that developed. And then through the centuries, various traditions that have worshipped. And perhaps this will be a stretch for you to realize how many different ways worship has been expressed through the years. But the worship is always rooted and grounded in the Lord Jesus Christ. And so then we'll look at different traditions in the world today and how you can practically lead people in worship. We want to focus in this class on experiences, not just on concepts. So this is why we put a live class session as what we're doing in the class, because I want as much as possible for you to be able to be there with the group to experience something, not just to discuss it. And then secondly, we're going to spend a lot of time, as much as we can, discussing things. Well, that's a little bit difficult to do, but perhaps over the internet we'll be able to have some live discussions, and I'll be able to ask you some good questions. You'll be able to come up with some good answers, perhaps on your own and perhaps as a group. There are two books that we're using as a part of this class. The first one is called Created to Worship. I wrote it back in 2002 and continue to use it as the primary resource for the class. And then secondly, there's this book called Leading Worship in This Generation. Now understand, this generation includes 7 different generations. You know, people in their 90s, people in their 50s, people in their 30s, so forth and so on. There are multiple generations in this generation, but nonetheless there is today, what is happening today in your church. And so that'll have several practical sources. Anyway, if you have access to those 2 resources, then you'll have all that you need for this class. And we can do the rest of things on the internet as we watch the class sessions as they occur and as we have our discussions together. I very much look forward to this class. It's a blast, and we had a great time the week that this class was recorded. So come on and join us, and we'll have some experience and some dialogues together, and we'll just want this to be a time where the very presence of God saturates the meetings where we have, and it feels like a long worship retreat that we have together, where new facets of God become opened up to you over the course of our time together. So let's go ahead and launch into the first session.